My name is Asena, and before receiving the Holy Spirit, my life was a living hell. I was depressed, suicidal, to the point where I tried literally everything to end my life. I started cutting myself. I started drinking expired pills. I ended up in the hospital because of that, and skipping classes just to try and drown myself, trying to kill myself, and to the point where I really gave up and I gave a last chance into drinking bleach. So I drank bleach thinking that I would die, but then I still lived. I ended up in the hospital for weeks in the hospital, and the doctor said that I was lucky that I was there in time, because if not, I would have died. And a week later, I remember I came to the Universal Church. I didn't come in my own free will. My parents brought me to the church, and I was sitting at the back. My parents were sitting right in front, and the pastor was speaking, and I hated what he said because I thought that he knew me, and someone told him about my life, that I wanted to kill myself. He was speaking about having suicidal thoughts, wanting to kill yourself, depression, and that I could overcome. And he spoke in the service, and he said that I could be free, that if someone was facing this, that he or she could be free. And so I wanted to test and see if it really worked, because I had friends who died because of suicide, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna see if it really worked on people, then I would believe it and I would attend. And I came for the Friday service, and I saw people behaving differently, and I was confused. And I remember I used to keep manifesting Fridays after Fridays, but there was one thing that the pastor said, and he said, if you want to be sure that you are completely free, you need to receive the Holy Spirit. The first Daniel fasting came, and I didn't take it seriously. And after so many Daniel fasting, I was so long in the church, for about 2 years, I wasn't serious about anything. And I decided on the third year of me being in church, I decided to take everything seriously, because the suicidal thoughts were very loud in my head, and I knew that if I wouldn't have the Holy Spirit, I wouldn't conquer things in life, but the suicidal thoughts wouldn't go away. So I did my purposes. I remember I didn't like cleaning the church. I remember that day no fasting. I remember I wouldn't dodge the pastor around. I would clean the church. Sometimes I remember I sacrificed my time. I would come in the first service on a Sunday, and I would go out during the main service. I would go out and evangelize for people and for the youth group. I remember making those sacrifices were very hard. I went to school. I decided not to involve myself with the friends who were bad influence. I distanced myself from my friends, and it was very hard. They called me names, but I had only one focus, and that was the Holy Spirit. I had to make the Holy Spirit my priority. And it was not just a priority, the Holy Spirit was my number one priority. So I remember a Friday service, the 21st of June. I remember we had exams in the school, and it was in the afternoon, so I attended the 10 a.m. service. I went back home because I was really desperate for the Holy Spirit. I came quickly back I walked to church quickly back from school, and I cleaned the church. I didn't want any pastor to see, because I literally wanted just to please God and for Him to give me His Spirit. So I did these sacrifices, these purposes for the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And I came back for the 4 p.m. service, and I went back home. I took a shower, and I came back from the 6:30 service, and I was worried, I was anxious, because I started asking myself, why haven't I received the Holy Spirit? I did everything the pastor told me. I did whatever the assistants advised me to do. I did everything, but I haven't yet received the Holy Spirit. And then I remember going up to the pastor's wife, and I cried, and I said, Miss, I don't know what else to do. I did everything. I sacrificed my friends. I sacrificed the whole world. And I remember the pastor's wife told me that You need to say that to God. And then I remember the Friday after the deliverance service, I went up and I gave my all. I told God that I didn't want to go back, and I wouldn't leave the church. I wouldn't leave the church without being baptized by His Spirit. And on that day, the undescribable event happened, and it changed my life completely. The Asena today is no more suicidal, no more depressed. I want to live life, and because I've received the Holy Spirit, I saw changes in my education. I'm not only doing well, but I'm doing excellent in my education. So because of the Holy Spirit, I'm able to achieve and conquer many things. And thank you.